Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another graphic novel review, and in this graphic novel review I'll be covering The Mighty Golden Patriot Volume 1 by Yellow Flash and John Dillard. I'll now move into first things first, and that is in relation to the cover rating. One thing that I didn't know when I did pick up this cover is how well it would sort of work inside the story, to which I give the cover a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, the middle, and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters. So this is some of the art around the beginning of the story, and we get to see in this, we've got the rise of the big bad German guy, well, Austrian. I also know that Mike Patriot has also done a review on this, but I also have my own thoughts and views of what he, what actually might be happening here, and how it actually might be working in relation to the first page of what we see when the story begins. So as we jump a little bit further within the story, we see the character of Jack Rogers, who has obtained this artifact that has already given him these powers. We, of course, get to see the Germans move in force whilst they are looking for the hero of the story, plus the encounter with a double agent. As they move a little bit further within the story, we get to see Jack Rogers once again using the power of this Golden Patriot, until we see that there will be quite likely a second volume to this series. There are probably a number of pages that I did miss out on showing to you, but should you be interested in picking up this story, you go ahead and pick up the story. Should you not, it's up to you. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Next is the area of the story rating. And the story rating consists of time, location, and cast, as well as addressing the pros and cons of this graphic novel. So, starting off with first things first, do we get to see what time, or how things are playing out time-wise? We do. We see the year 1943 and also 4 days later. Next is the location, to which we get to see North Africa as well as Alexandria. So the continent of North Africa and the area of Alexandria, to which there was also known as a famous lighthouse of sorts. Next, and also library, if I remember. Next is the cast of characters, to which we have Jack Rogers, who later becomes the Golden Patriot. We had Lord Blitzkrieg, I think it is, and of course Agent Ember. Moving into the area of the pros and cons, we have Jack finding the occult artifact. That was actually quite interesting. The suit's abilities come across as very clear, like at the beginning, like what it's able to do, and also the villain's mech tanks that you get to see within the story. I did actually quite like that. One problem is that there's probably a little bit more cons in regards to pros. So let's address those cons. The aircraft should be, say, 3, not 2 in the air. So I'll go back and show that again. So as we're looking at this, I know Mike Patika seemed to think it might have been 2 people talking, but I'm actually starting to wonder if it might have actually been 3. The reason I think it might have actually been 3 is actually when we see the formation of these planes in the air, or these warplanes in the air. And of course, you can see there's quite a number of them. And the impression that I got is, okay, what we're seeing here are the planes that are related to the allies that are being sent out. Then we move over to the next page, and we do see somewhat, I guess, free figures talking until those free figures drop to how many people are left. And that all changes with the gunfire coming from below. The next con was the increase of the battalion. The battle numbers of the villain looked very short or very small in number. It probably wouldn't have hurt to include some translation notes within this story. And of course, when the nothing... Oh, sorry about that. When the artifact is being used again, there was nothing indicating that Jack Rogers had any knowledge in, say, archaeological artifacts. That really wasn't set up beforehand. Like, you could have had one of his fellow pilots asking, what's this big interest you have in archaeological artifacts, like something like that, and he could sort of like give a small explanation. Then we have the gunfire go into, like, the anti-air gunfire going into the aircrafts, causing the destruction of one, if not both, of the pilots he was actually with. And therefore that would show how big the stakes are in relation to this particular artifact that the Germans are looking for in this particular story. Now moving into last but not least, and that is my overall rating of a story, to which I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.